All right, I'm gonna talk about Obama's Executive Order 13603 because there wasn't enough light shed on it, and I want to bring more awareness to this of what a dictator this guy wanted to become. It's Executive Order 13603. Let's see if we can widen this picture out. Oh, that's Al in the background over here. He'll be doing, well, they can't see you. We'll have segments with Ask Al. So he's a Vietnam veteran, and he's got a lot of knowledge on the subject. But under Executive Order, Obama's unconstitutional Executive Order 13603, everything you own can be taken away under the guise of national security. This order rips our Constitution to shreds. One person has all this power. Are we really living as a free people, or are we living under dictatorship? Now, Obama, the whole more of the which I'm going to get into another video. Um, it stated that they all gas stations could be shut down, food markets, anything from your house could be taken that can be used to the government. That any type of food you have, canned food, whatever food, dog food was listed on there. And even the vegetables in your garden, apples off your trees, your cows that you may have from ranches and everything. And we did see a major attack from Obama on the North under his, well, I'll call it regime. I'm not going to call it administration. His dictator's shipment regime. He put, oh man, I think about 27 ranchers off their property, and many of them were third and fourth generation. And they used mafia tactics. He had the BLM signed in with an executive order that controlled what these ranchers were able to do, and there was nothing unlawful that they were doing. He would just control their own land. And actually, one guy Robert Lavoy Fincham, who was murdered in cold blood by the feds, and you can look that up right on the internet. He was shot in the head and shot about 9 times, I think, altogether, and standing with his hands up. And it was set up because he was going down the street and there was a barricade waiting for him, and it was an army style barricade that they would use or to stop somebody that was in a high speed chase. They were pivoted in the center of the road, angled so nobody could get through, and it was set there for him because there was nothing else going on. And so they were. Let's see. They took his water tanks. They put concrete in them. They would come to talk to Mr. Fincham, and they would come out with their long arm guns and their fingers on the trigger, and rather than coming and just dealing with the people normally. And it's happening in a lot of our places. I did a video before on the steps of fascism and what they use. And Barack Obama, and people call Trump a fascist. In no way is he a fascist. He's never acted like one. He's never said anything to be one. He's pure nationalist, and I know that's a step in fascism too. But this is America, and it's not like Germany where it's just Germans and you wipe everybody else out like they did with the Jews. Americans are Americans. We are Italians. We're Irish. We are African American. We are Jewish, Muslim, which is becoming a major threat these days. But I mean, the tactics he used were purely fascist. Recording people illegally. Let's see what else. Many of his executive orders, he was passing power on to the UN to add power to the UN over America, and so he could. His plan was to move to the UN because he wanted Hillary Clinton to get in, have her help him move into the UN. Then he'd have total power, and obviously he would take care of her. And that's why we're having this whole issue. It's not a sore loser issue over this. It's their plans were broken up to take take over America and make it turn it into a third world country. Um, Barack Obama said fascist things that people actually cheered for. He said that our army, I mean our police, needed to look and be armed like our military. That's what Hitler did. Um, and people cheered for that. And then at his White House Correspondents' meeting, when he said, "The end of the Republic has never looked better," people cheered. That's something for a president to say like that is fucking ridiculous. It's everybody knows he. If you go back and read his book from college, which all his college things are sealed, um, he said that if it ever came a time where to be war with Islam in America, he would stand with Islam. It's in his book. You know, he doesn't hide what he does. He just says things as if it's a joke, but he really means it. What kind of president that loves his country says the end of the republic in America has never looked better? That all he's saying is that the end of your freedoms have never looked better, and we're going to do it. So right now, I do believe he's under major investigation, and another reason why they didn't want Trump in there. And nobody's mentioned the 1,200. I think it's 1,200 people now that have been arrested for pedophilia in these organized human trafficking rings. The CNN isn't reporting on that. Instead, CNN is reporting on fake news, as they always do. Even Fox is controlled by the same people. All the news organizations are controlled by 6 different major companies, and those 6 companies are controlled by one person, one family, and that would be the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and any one of the 13 bloodlines that rule. But obviously, the top family is the Rothschilds. But who's the real fascist? You tell me. Leave a comment at the bottom. Subscribe. I'll be coming out with many more videos, and I'm actually going to get some equipment to do some stuff. I'll be doing street interviews with people because here in the great state of Connecticut, we don't have racist issues like the media is making it appear. I walk down the streets every day, and in fact, I've grown up, right next to. My town wasn't particularly black, but black kids that did go to my school are Puerto Ricans. I was basically friends with because I played basketball, and there was no racism in our school at all. Sure, racism happens, but it's not the way Barack Obama said it is. All cops are racist, and this and that, and all white males are racist. It's bullshit. Um, he also, oh yeah, in Connecticut, I walk down the street and there's Puerto Ricans and African Americans. They just give me dab for no reason. We've never had an issue like that. I've always hung around with black people and Puerto Ricans because I don't see skin color, you know. And the Muslim issue is a real issue. Just read the Quran and what it says. It says, yeah, peace to everybody, but unless you're an infidel. And if you're not Muslim, you're an infidel. So this is how they're bringing in these bullshit laws to control speech. You can't say anything that's considered Islamophobic, which means you can't even criticize a terrorist. I'm going to get in another video about Justin Trudeau, who's running Canada right now, who is a complete ass. He reminds me of Zoolander, literally. And I'll get into some of his famous talks you won't even believe.